I'm Amelie and welcome once again to my channel. Today I'm going to be watching episode 34 of Guardian. Now, yes, we have to address the fact that I am never going to be able to recover episode 33. Yes, I admit it. I was too hopeful at the beginning. It turns out it's almost impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it requires a certain amount of work that I can definitely not do. So it is gone. It is lost. I'm so sorry to say. Honestly, it is frustrating, especially after I recorded the episode. Like, it's there. The recording is there. I just have no way of matching it to any picture. Because there's something else that happened when I was recording episode 33 that I haven't mentioned. And that is that when I started recording episode 33, I didn't actually started with that episode. I started with episode 34 because I was absolutely convinced that was the episode that I have to do. Like, I didn't even check. I just sat down and said, oh, it's episode 34. I didn't even question it. So I set episode 34. I did my whole intro for the video and all of that. I pressed play, and then I said, oh shit, that is not where I stopped last episode. Is this where I'm supposed to be? I checked, and it definitely wasn't. And it wasn't like I saw a big spoiler. The only thing that I saw was little Guo lying on like a gurney in the lab, and old Chu was there. I don't think we even get to, see any dialogue or anything. So it isn't like a huge spoiler, but definitely I was confused and it was a mistake. But what happened with that is that usually I have a certain time that I always, or more or less an approximate time that I always start the episode. But when I went back to the other episode, because obviously I was not going to edit that part out, I just kept it. And I said, okay, I'm just going to go to the previous episode. So I went to the previous episode. And I just skipped the intro in the best way I could. I didn't even check the time that I started it. And I think it was a lot earlier than I usually do. I usually start the reaction when we have how do you call this? The moment when you get the number of the episode. In this one, it is the one, I'm pretty sure it is when we got the title card, but I'm not actually sure at what moment. So I don't know. It was hell to match that. But then I also realized that I have pretty much stopped the episode like 100 times during that recording. And I also went back a couple times and then moved forward again. It was a fucking mess. So even though there were certain times that I more or less could match, most of the episode was lost because I just had no way of replicate that. So that is explanation. That is what happened. And I am sorry. I'm sorry, you're going to miss my reaction of episode 33. It was a good one. It had a pretty good jokes in there. It's possible that I may have implied that Xiao Xunlang had a king for Shen Wei being pregnant. But who knows? Now you're never going to know the context of that theory. Anyway, too bad. It is lost. It is gone. I'm going to make a summary of here, episode 33, because honestly, there were a few parts that I was actually confused and that I'm still not sure about what happened in some of these parts. So I'm going to do a summary for it. But other than that, that is the only thing that we're going to get. I even consider like doing maybe not a reaction for the whole episode, but at least the scenes that I can match. But there were very few. And they weren't very interesting, what I was saying in that part. So, not worth it. Believe me, you just have to believe me, it's not worth it. Anyway, let's talk about episode 33. Let me remember what it was about. So, the first good thing about episode 33 is that we have a confirmation of my theory that everything that had been happening in episode 32 was a dream. Maybe not everything, but a bunch of it. A whole chunk of it was actually a dream. And this is a dream that one of Yesun's lackeys was making old Chu dream so he could manipulate him into destroying the barrier that protect the headquarters of the SID. So in this dream, he pretended to be little Guo and he essentially, led him to believe certain things. And I think I had a lot of feelings in that episode, but I would say that the more prevalent one is probably just, I don't know, just sadness. It was a sad episode. It was pretty bad two episodes for old Chu. It was really heartbreaking because it's definitely an episode where you see him making an effort of opening up, of telling little Guo his story, of actually trusting in somebody, and then realizing that all of that was actually a lie, and that he was opening up to a complete random stranger that was using his vulnerabilities to get what he wanted. That is fucking terrible. That is a horrible thing to happen to him. And honestly, a little fucked up as well, especially for a character that is so close off as Old Chu. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more heartbreaking it is. But we did get a lot of insight to his character in this moment. For example, one of the things that happened during this dream was the fact that for some reason, little Guo wanted to move in with him in Dixon. Like, they were going to move in together in Dixon. Like, okay, what is the heterosexual explanation to that? Because that sounds like some advanced bravely nonsense. Like, why are you moving together with your co-worker with no explanation? There was an explanation, I guess, but it still sounds strange to me that, that he would think that little Guo would just leave everything and go there. I guess he really believed in love. Anyway, that was actually kind of adorable. His relationship with his brother, things like that. The fact that, I think it's mostly stated in the show that he's, I wouldn't say replacing necessarily, because I don't think he's replacing his brother with little Guo, but that there is a connection between his brother and little Guo in his affection, at least. Personally, I don't necessarily think that could preclude any type of, more romantic relationship between them, which is, I think, where, that's my belief for the relationship. I don't necessarily believe that there is a particularly brotherly relationship between them, but that's just me. I don't know. I feel one of the things that I notice is that, and this may be me talking out of my ass with my I cannot emphasize enough, very limited Chinese knowledge, but I noticed that, I know that older brother in Chinese is Gaga, and I know that is also something that is used kind of flirtingly, as especially by girls, but I think it can be used by anyone with an intention. Like, I remember, for example, in the Untamed, and I remember that he called him that, a little Guo. I think he called him Ga or Gaga, I don't know. But I don't know, I think that relationship is definitely not necessarily brotherly. Anyway, what else happened in that episode? He realized, eventually he does realize he ended up tricking the, little Guo imposter, and he realized what he was trying to do. So I don't know. He definitely didn't destroy him, but he sent him away. I think to be honest, between me trying to fix that episode, I had forgotten a lot of things about that episode. Maybe I should have paid more attention to my reaction of it. What else? What else happened in that episode? We got Shen Wei back, as I said we would. I said, if Xiao Shunlan knows that Shen Wei is being held captive in Dixon, he's definitely going there. And he definitely went. He went there, he stole a uniform, he liberated him, he did everything that he said he was going to do. He even saved little Guo, who actually wasn't dead, which is something that was, worried me a lot. And that's another thing that I discussed in the previous episode, that obviously that discussion is absolutely lost. One of the things that I said is that I don't know how I would have feel about the show if Lil Guo had died. Not necessarily, it's not that I wouldn't finish it. I feel like I wouldn't finish it, but I was comparing it, maybe these are, spoilers for Word of Honor. Not specific spoilers, but general spoilers. If you haven't seen Word of Honor, maybe, I don't know, don't listen for like a minute. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to say specific details, but I'm definitely going to say, I'm going to refer to an event that's going to happen towards the end. Definitely in a vague way, but just in case. Anyway, in Word of Honor, that happened to me. Like, that thing that happened towards the end, you know what I'm talking about. That definitely fucked me up to the point that I do not like, as much as I enjoy watching World of Honor the first time, I find myself not actually enjoying it the second time around. And I try to rewatch it a lot of times. I try to rewatch it. I try to watch reactions of it. And I just find that I just don't enjoy it because there's certain characters that die. And when I see those characters, I just find myself incapable of enjoying anything else about this show. And I think this is definitely a me problem. But I feel the same way with Little Guo. I feel like Little Guo has been built as that sort of character. And if he died, I don't know if I could enjoy the show watching it from the beginning and, you know, seeing Little Guo change and seeing Little Guo grow as a character and, you know, develop and become braver and all of that, and then him just dying. So if I don't know, I feel like maybe even other characters I could stand them dying, but if Little Guo dies, I don't know if I can enjoy this wait, because that I don't want any of the characters to die. Let me just say that. But I feel like there is something about those sort of characters that, I don't know, in my book at least, it makes it absolutely heartbreaking to, you know, see them again when you know what's going to happen to them. Anyway, I was happy Lil Guo didn't die. Apparently Shen Wei did something to protect him with his sword thing. I don't know. So Lil Guo is also safe. He's in pretty bad shape, but he's at least alive and back where he belongs. So that's nice. Shen Wei is also back where he belongs, which is next to Xiao Shunlan, and Xiao Shunlan is milking it for all it's worth, just walking Shen Wei, like grabbing him, because apparently he can't walk because, you know, he was tied to a pillar for a while. To be honest, he was tied to that pillar for a long while. How long did it happen? I don't know how long did it happen in the show, but he, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it was months. I don't know. Anyway, they are adorable. They're cute. I'm happy they are back together because honestly, I just don't like Shen Wei separated from Xiao Shunlan. I think they belong together. And having them separated, didn't enjoy that. Now, there was something else that happened in this episode. Yes, Ling Jing, he was also, you know, he's in this new laboratory that he's working at, and he also has a dream. And in this dream, he's in the SID, and everybody's accusing him of something like that. And he has to check the barrier, but to check it, he has to turn it off or something. So I think he did. And that means that the barrier is off. So essentially, I think it's the same dream man that was affecting old Chu, but he essentially manipulated the old Ninjin in a much easier way. So now the barrier is off, and I don't know. I guess Seyun can get the Hallows. I'm not sure. Seyun, he's still a cloud. Very disappointed about that. I mean, it's the last 6 episodes. Can we get a corporeal Seyun? Can we get Zhu Yilong playing Seyun for at least one fucking episode? My God, that is what more? What more can I ask? There was something else. Another thing that I actually like from this episode is the fact that we got Shadow Man in. He sacrificed himself to save Shen Wei, which was, you know, very brave of them. And this Shadow Man is the same one that had appeared in episode 1. I honestly really like that about Guardian. We have a lot of callbacks to previous episodes, to previous characters. I feel we had a few of those, and I don't know. I think it made the universe more believable in a way, or I don't know, more. I don't know how to describe it. I just enjoy it. Anyway, that is all that I have to say about episode 33. There's the things that I still don't understand. There are a few things that I still don't understand about episode 33. I suspect that probably I should have watched it again, maybe. But I've been watching parts of it because I've been trying to match the audio to, you know, the video from the episode, from episode 33, but I feel like I haven't actually sat down and watched it and tried to understand what happened, but several things definitely to me were very confusing. I'm still not quite sure about Old Chu's story. It's never clear whether his brother was responsible for the deaths, but he was the one to pay for that crime, or if he's the one who committed the crime and his brother was killed because of it, and he killed somebody else, maybe. I don't know. To be honest, I feel like most of the stories told through flashback, which I admit is something that I'm often, I often have trouble with flashback. I often get confused by them, so maybe it's just me problem. But I find myself a little bit lost when it comes to that story. Also, the fact that they both are identical twins, which is, the point of the story, doesn't help. That is one thing. The other one is that I don't actually remember when All Choose Dream started and when it finished. So I'm still not sure how much of what we saw in episode 32 and 33 was actual reality and how much was just dream. So that's definitely two things that I maybe should pay more attention and rewatch the episode. Anyway, that's definitely it. Let's go to episode number 34. Finally, after so many time, having watched that first little scene. So let's go, episode number 34, right